Bro, Gene Silva is a monster. Okay. That guy has a submission game. Are you kidding me? The guy's knocked out 100 people in a row. And he chokes Bryce Mitchell unconscious. Bryce Mitchell choked. It's insane. That guy's a superstar. You know, it's rare when you have an entire UFC event without some good fights. But every once in a while, you pay for a pay-per-view and the main card doesn't deliver. This was not one of those nights last night. UFC 314 was bananas. And we are going to look at Michael Chandler's face after the fight last night because, oh my God, Paddy Pimblett really put some serious damage on Michael Chandler. And I told you guys he's legit, you know. I mean, I think there was a lot of people who were, you know, saying that he's legit, but I was very clear about why I thought he was so legit. And obviously, I was rooting for Chandler because I'm like buddies with him. But in terms of just like, you know, looking at a fighter and looking at his development, I said, if you look at Paddy Pimblett after the Gordon fight, something changed in that guy, dude. And he got so much better. So much better. I could see it in the Tony Ferguson fight. I don't think people really kind of grasped how much better he looked necessarily because it was Tony Ferguson he was fighting. But it's just like he has a 100% complete game now. Like that dude's game is totally complete. Top to bottom. You do not want to get wrapped up with that guy. You definitely do not want to get kicked in the leg by Paddy Pimblett. He's just so much more crisp on the feet, man. It's honestly, I'm trying to think of a time that I've seen a fighter who has that kind of like loosey-goosey, you know, kind of open to get hit type of style, but like, you know, throws a lot of intensity, but is not like that tight, crisp type of striker. And then they become a crisp, tight striker. It's very rare when someone turns into a thing like that. And he has done that. And it was right after the Gordon fight. I think all those people talking shit really pissed him off. The guy's undefeated in the UFC. And he just beat the shit out of Michael Chandler. I mean, beat him everywhere. Beat him on the feet. Beat him on the ground. You know, could have potentially submitted him. That was wild, dude. Paddy Pimblett's legit. I want to see him fight. Man, I want to see him fight everybody, actually. But, yeah, so we're obviously going to look at Michael Chandler's face, and then we're also going to talk about the rest of the card because that was a banana showing. Now, Paddy Pimblett also got into it with Colby Covington last night. So let's take a look at that really quick.
Oh, you're fighting scrub. You guys are 2 and 6. You guys remember outside. You're a bum. You mean guys are 2 and 6. Remember that. Remember that. You're a scrub. You're a fraud. You're a fraud.
You want a 3-fight losing streak?
You need fraud check so quick.
Keep putting your act on your.
Dude, you know what's amazing about that clip? What's like really genuinely amazing about that clip is the fact that Colby Covington, okay, you can say whatever you want about the guy. I don't care. I just don't care. I don't care what anybody says. That guy is literally masterclass at the fight game, okay? He sought out Paddy Pimblett, okay? Paddy Pimblett, who just had an incredible performance, okay? And Colby understands there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on Paddy. He seeks him out sees him, you know, doing his post-fight interview, and he just injects himself into it. Because, why? Because he knows it's going to go viral, okay? He is so committed to his character. It's crazy. This is not what he's like, okay? Like, this is just bottom line. That is not the real guy. He is acting, okay? He is pretending, okay? He's creating conflict, obviously, and he's a fighter, so it's not like he doesn't really care. But, like, that is a 100% intentional thing. There's nothing, like, sporadic about that. There's nothing that was not intended to happen right there. It's unbelievable. And it just started with him one day. He's just like, he started, going on the computer and just being all, yeah, these guys are a joke. He just started acting. And he just stuck with it. Full commitment. It's amazing, dude. It's honestly amazing. Now, it's unfortunate those two guys are not in the same weight class, but, that's why it's even more impressive, honestly. Is he's just like, oh, who's going to have eyeballs on him right now? Paddy Pimblett? Cool. He can get it. But, all right, so let's look at Michael Chandler's Foz because, man, he, look at this, dude. Oop. Bam, dude. And that's immediately after the fight. What's crazy about that is that cut right there, that is a huge cut. Now, obviously, guys that have been fighting as long as Michael Chandler have a ton of scar tissue right there underneath the eye, and it makes it way easier to kind of take a huge cut like that. But that's a big cut, dude. I mean, that is and look over his other eye. He's split open on the other side, like above his other eye. He's busted up, dude. Check this out, actually. So I was looking for the pictures of his face, and I found these from the Justin Gaethje fight. Oh my God. I'm not sure. I don't remember seeing these. Do you guys? Hold on. Look at that, dude. I'm going to just flash it because I honestly think it might get my video age restricted. I'm all gun shy about getting age restricted right now because one of my last videos got age restricted because I showed crime scene like pictures that had blood on them. Just like blood spatter. It's like, that's news, dude. That's news. But let's move over to this one because Alexander Volkanovski came back and my goodness, dude, he looked incredible. That, honestly, when I thought through how I thought these fights were going to go, I should have bet more. I should have bet more. Because honestly, the bets that I won, they weren't even, I mean, I thought they were going to win, honestly. Like, I thought Gene Silva had was probably going to win. My faith in Bryce Mitchell was like solely in the fact that like that guy's so confident. His ground game's good. But like, I had watched Gene Silva's fights. I was like, bro, this guy is and they're setting up Bryce Mitchell to lose. But also, the Paddy Pimblett one, same thing. But the Volkanovski fight, what I had said about this fight is I was like, if Volkanovski is 80% of what he used to be, he's going to smoke Diego Lopez straight up. Because I just watched the two of them fight, and it basically went exactly as I anticipated. It's like Volkanovski's too crisp, he's too sharp, he's too in and out, he's going to be able to touch him as much as he wants, and it's going to be incredibly hard for Diego Lopez to hit Volkanovski. And it literally went exactly like I thought it would. But again, you have no idea what you're looking at when you're looking at a guy who's his age and he's taken 2 knockout losses in a row. Because maybe their chin's gone, right? And he got knocked hard, and Diego Lopez has huge power. I didn't realize how big his power was, though. That was one part that I didn't really understand. I still would have picked Volkanovski, but man, Volkanovski coming out there and doing that with the situation being what it was amazing. It really was, dude. The guy's 36 years old? Which is, honestly, you want to know what sucks about current state UFC versus like 11 years ago? Guess what I'm going to say, okay? When we had the TRT era, that was the best thing ever. It's just the best thing ever. Because these guys who develop all of these skills and accumulate them over an entire career of fighting, there's like the skill side and then there's the physical side, the skills and mental side, and then there's the like physical side. Once they get to a certain age, the physical side starts to diminish, and it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your skills are. You're not going to be able to beat the top level guys that are 28 years old. And during the TRT era, you had this like golden age of these guys who were moving and like they were faster even, than if they would have just been, 30, if they're 38 versus their 30-year-old self. They might be faster at 38 if they're allowed to use TRT. Who knows? But they were lightning fast, super devastating power, and they had all the skills accumulated. And they got to fight until they were crazy old. It was awesome. You know, I don't like there being this just expiration date on guys. It sucks. It's, you know, knowing that there is medicine out there, like straight. I mean, I just look at it like medicine. Knowing there's medicine out there that can keep guys healthy and athletic for a longer period of time, and they're not allowed to use it. I mean, I understand like the ethical, you know, kind of, not even ethical, just like you don't want to force people into a situation where they have to use it. Well, guess what? They don't have to use it. You know what I mean? Like they don't have to use it. But I don't know. Because I would love to see Volkanovski stay sharp until he's 43, 44. You know what I mean? I would love that. All the guys that get older, it's like, and you know, you're watching Conor McGregor over here, like just wasting away, you know, older and older and older and older. And you're like, is this guy ever going to fight? Is he really just not going to fight? And you're just looking, because as a fan, you're like, all right, we got like maybe 2 more years, you know, 2 years. And then he's 38 coming back. And it's like, okay, this is over. You know what I mean? I don't know why I picked Conor McGregor. There's a million other guys that I would like to see fight forever. But Volkanovski coming back in the circumstances that he was in and doing what he did, amazing. Like really genuinely amazing. That dude is a savage. And he wanted that so bad. He wanted that so bad. And it's crazy to think about the fact that like the skid that he went on, like the Islam Makhachev loss, I don't know, man. I don't even really, like that was just, like it's not like he like lost the fight exactly. He made a terrible decision to take that fight. A short notice, 2 week fight against Islam Makhachev with no official camp for Islam Makhachev. You know, it was nice to be able to like demonstrate that fight camps matter. You know what I mean? But then, you know, and then Ilia Topuria, he looked great until Ilia clipped him, and Ilia can knock anyone out. But, you know, this guy, he's a freak of nature, man. And Diego Lopez is a tough ass dude. He's better than I thought he was too, actually. You know, because like bottom line, you can't get that guy out of there, and he's going to keep coming forward, and he has nuclear power. Most guys are not as fast or as crisp as Volkanovski, and so the rest of that division is going to have a tough time with him. Gene Silva in the mix there too now, and I think he's going to be a champion. I think he's going to be a champion. I think he's going to be a superstar. I think Gene Silva is going to be an absolute superstar. And we'll talk about that fight right now. So, you know, going into the Bryce Mitchell fight in general, it was like there was all this, you know, all this attention on, I don't know, this thing that he said that was whatever. I don't know. It's like Gabrielle and I were talking about this on our show on Play With Matches, our other channel, which link is in the description if you don't watch it. But we were talking about Kanye. So Kanye West came out and said something like Taylor Swift. Believe me, this all connects to Bryce Mitchell. He's like, Taylor Swift got banged at the same time by Harry Styles and Justin Bieber, and I'm mad that I wasn't there. And Taylor Swift is like threatening to sue him or whatever. And Gabrielle and I were talking about it, and she's like, yeah, but you can't like sue him for defamation or slander or whatever because it's Kanye. And I'm like, I mean, so what? Like your defense in court is this dude is batshit crazy and you shouldn't take anything he says seriously? She's like, kind of, yeah, kind of. And I'm like, all right, you know, I guess I can kind of get behind that. And I'm not saying like with Bryce, it's like, dude, he has different ideas than people. You know what I mean? Like he watches a different channel than you. He reads different things on the internet. It's nothing to get bent out of shape about. You know what I mean? For me anyway. Like I don't, if he's talking about historical record, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, Hitler's dead, man. You know, Hitler's dead, guys. He's like long dead. So Bryce Mitchell's opinion on whether or not he was a good guy in the fucking 30s, I don't care. Like 20s or 30s, I don't care, man. You know, I think he was probably a good guy before whatever. It's like, okay. There's a lot of people who have a lot of weird ideas about a lot of weird things. If it doesn't have anything to do with like current state society, who cares? You know? Who cares? So, I don't know, man. I just think the guy he's just who he is. And what Dana said about that, what he said in the press conference was basically, he's like, look, Bryce Mitchell's back was against the wall. You know, he came out, he faced the media over and over and over. He faced the fans over and over and over. And he came in and he did his thing. And from Dana, it seems like it's squashed. You know, like it seems squashed to me. I think that Bryce probably talked his way out of a title shot at any point ever, though. That's just, I would anticipate that that's the case. I could be wrong. Maybe he'll keep, you know, maybe not. I don't know. But, you know, the UFC definitely is aware of what their champions do and say, and they give opportunities to guys in some cases based on that, you know. And so, like, they don't like having a champion that is a total live wire. And the thing is, again, I'll just keep coming back to this because it's true. Ari Emanuel is a very, very, very powerful guy who owns the UFC, and he is super tied into Israel. And if you talk positively about Hitler or say anything about the Holocaust or any of that stuff, or you say the greedy Jews were trying to queer the kids in Germany, that's a wrap for you, dude. Like, that's just one of those things. Like, he would need to, like, if he goes on a win streak, he would need to try to set up a meeting with Ari, I think, and apologize to him directly and tell him that he's never going to say anything like that again. That's what I would, if I was his manager, that's what I would suggest that he did. Like, a frank man-to-man conversation will go a long way for you, you know? Like, take that as advice in anyone's life. Like, a real man-to-man. Own the shit that you do. And also, like, just get your ego out of there. Okay? Because that's why most people don't want to do that. They don't want to do things like that. But you need to think about outcomes. Okay? If your entire life is built around attaining a certain goal, and you have a person who is going to dictate whether you have the opportunity to achieve that goal, you need to make sure that you are keenly aware of what they think about you. It's really important. It's really important. And in any single one-on-one relationship, okay, a frank conversation goes a long way always. Bottom line. Anyway, that's what I got for today. I love you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell. Bye-bye.